Welcome back to Brian Smith. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome back to the Pups. Really interested. I know Bobby gets a lot of action on his social media pages, so he's really interested in this particular one. In a blog post on Facebook this week, CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced that the social network plans to shift its focus towards privacy with a more secure messaging service. Here to unpack exactly what this means is our tech expert, Brian. Obviously, where do we even begin? Is this old news? Is it new news? How much of a shift is this? Actually, just take us back to the beginning, to that blog itself. What does this mean for Facebook and the messaging service?
Sure, thanks. It's great to be back. And if you've used a social media network over the past couple of years, it can feel like social media with a side helping of controversy. We've had numerous scandals and data breaches all the way from Cambridge Analytica to smaller incidents all around the world. And Facebook over the past couple of years and months has come under increasing scrutiny just for that. Now, in that blog post available on Facebook, company founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg has elaborated that he plans to take the company into a more privacy-focused approach. What that essentially means is that Facebook will be looking further towards encryption, will be looking at less publicity per posts. Essentially what it might mean is that its core business model, which is essentially the news feed, its most famous product, might be falling away in some sense, and it might be the most drastic move the company's ever made.
Is this a knee-jerk reaction to fake news? Is it just too much bother to keep covering that end? Or does this feel like an authentic move to protect people's privacy? Is this commercial, or is this done out of a sense of conscience? What do you think? Or a bit of both?
So, to a big question of two answers, I think. So the first one being, I think it's an acknowledgement that we have a very serious problem. And it's one that Facebook, being the leading social media company, has to work to solve somehow. On the second side of things, I do think it's one that will be commercialized somehow. Facebook has to make money in order to operate. And I think there will be a change of revenue model or some form of change on the Facebook platform that allows Facebook to continue making money while still offering a more private service.
Is this going to spread? Do you think this is going to become the new social media norm, basis point?
I think Facebook, will lead a dialogue in that sense, and I think other social media companies and the big internet companies will be forced to listen at some point. We've seen other social networks, such as Twitter being the second largest, besides Instagram, which is owned by Facebook itself, take some steps as well to focus on user privacy. And essentially what we might well see is more internet companies focus on that rather than the means of harvesting data to offer ads.
To sell it off. What does this mean for us? You understand the social media user more than most. Are we even aware that we are not that private? Do you think people are even aware? Because you kind of assume we're protected and everything's cool. How much of the manipulation going on in the back end do we not even know about, do you think?
Well, Facebook's business model is, of course, revolves around ads. And essentially everyone on Facebook is profiled to have some understanding of what demographic they fall into, so advertisers can serve them ads that they're likely to engage with. I think that at the moment has sort of been the primary problem with social media, in the sense that we're not really as secure as we think we are. And all of that data doesn't just sort of go and disperse into the ether, so it doesn't just go nowhere. Someone keeps it and collects it for future use. Definitely. So we need to be very careful about our online data and where we store and the way we use things. But hopefully, with developments such as end-to-end encryption and more private messaging, as like we use on WhatsApp right now, that might be a more beneficial move.
It does feel like at least one giant leap forward. I know it hasn't come into effect just yet, but I think everyone out there, just live by the principle. If you're putting it out there, it is out there. So think before you post. Thank you so much, Brian.